Hello there, this is Geeks Assembled, and today Susan and myself are discussing season one of a British supernatural drama comedy series which started back in, was it 2008, 2009,
Hmm.
um, where we have a vampire, a werewolf, and a ghost all cohabiting together. Have you guessed? Yes, it's been human. Um, So as I say, we're discussing the first season of the British version. Later on down the line, there was an American version, wasn't there, Susan?
Yeah,
I think that only lasted 3 seasons, though.
I actually have never seen either of these versions, so
Mm,
this is
right.
like my first foray. Otherwise, I would elucidate eloquently about the
Yeah.
differences between the two, but I actually didn't see it, and but I know that the story it's so fun, like the catchiness of it. Anyway,
It, yeah, it,
excuse
for
me.
this first season, there's only 6 episodes in the first season. I know the seasons what followed got a little bit longer with maybe a couple more episodes. Um, and so this season is all about us as the viewers learning to finding out what these three people were all about:
Uh-huh.
the vampire, the werewolf, and the ghost. But also as well, this in this underlining impending vampire plot, whatever you want to call it, to control the world, take the world over. Um, so there's conflicting ideas with the group of vampires, with the solo vampire and the werewolf and the ghost, and that's the main story of this season. Of course, of consequences from things in the past.
Yeah.
Um, so we'll go over to Susan and her opening thoughts then on the first season of Being Human.
So also on top of everything about them wanting to take over the world, like that's one thing is the vampire story,
Mhm.
and then the werewolf story is the story of the guy who bit Russell Tovey's character and made him into a vampire or into a werewolf, excuse me, and or scratched him,
Mhm.
and how that uh, George Sands and how that really hurt him, and then the other one not able to really find a way to be connecting with other people because of the brokenness. I mean, a lot of these things are just funny because of the relational matrices that these people live in, and the Mitchell's relationship with the vampires is all about the it's a bigger political story, but George Sands's story is very interpersonal, and Annie Sawyer's story is super familial. It's just right in the family. Like her ex-husband or her husband is the one who murdered her by pushing her down the stairs and breaking her neck.
Yeah,
And she has to figure this out. It's like a long process for her to figure out that her ex, first of all, she loves her ex, or she loves her husband, until she suddenly comes upon that memory of the fall, of the pushing downstairs. And then, I mean, it's just like she is just devastated by it. At that point, like that's like the worst that could happen, the worst thing in the world that could happen to her. And it sort of sends her off into a different kind of reality. And she goes from being like a really sort of cool ghostly character that is learning how to push stuff around. Kind of like one of those ghosts on the BBC story ghosts, like the one in the bed and breakfast. But the this Annie turns it. I mean, like by the end of the first season, she's got serious issues, and because of the realization that she's been murdered, and she's a poltergeist.
She's
I
got
mean, every time her emotions get heightened, she just everything starts wildly being thrown around in in the place, and that's fun, and that's part of why they call it a comedy, because a lot of these things are really like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that's happening. It's that uncomfortable British comedy. You want to giggle a little bit, like, um, oh my god, no. Anyway, that's fun, and you know, man, it's really great. It's a really great little series. It's got people like Jason Watkins, who plays the big bad for the vampires, the political big bad Herrick.
Yeah, I mean that as well. These people are all in positions of power.
Uh-huh.
He's in the police. He's high up in the police.
Yeah.
Um, so
So it doesn't matter if you kill somebody in his jurisdiction, just you have to be a vampire to do it.
yeah,
Because he will prosecute werewolves and
yeah,
ghosts, but he will not prosecute vampires.
yeah.
Anyway, it's just that that political game is part of it. It's kind of like mafia. It's kind of like LCN, as I've heard it referred to a lot recently, La Cosa Nostra. Anyway, and Michael Socha is in it, and but the one that I was like really noticing uh was what's his name? Um, uh, I can't
Character.
remember.
What
It's it's all right. Like the guy who the guy who at the end is like uh the older guy anyway. He's a famous actor guy.
Oh,
Anyway,
do you mean you see him just at the end of the last
just
episode?
just at the end, yeah.
Donald Sumter,
Donald something, that's right.
who has been in many things,
Like
especially Doctor Who.
Kemp, yeah. Yeah. He Donald something's really
He was the last wrestle on we saw.
yes,
Yeah.
fun. Anyway, yeah, like there's a lot of those pretty interesting characters and it's just got a really great mix of personalities, and it's fun. The whole premise of what a council estate would be like if a vampire, werewolf, and ghost moved in together, and what would and also what would it be like if if the vampire and the werewolf worked together at the hospital?
Yeah.
I mean, like that was also kind of cool, like how they put those two together there. Anyway, uh, those are my opening thoughts. Over to you.
Yeah. I like the way they're nowadays with the vampire law. They've sort of thrown out the window. They can't walk during the day.
During the
Um,
sunshine, I know.
Sunshine, yeah. Most of these modern day vampire adaptations have the vampires out and about in daytime.
Yeah,
Um,
even the Dracula with Gary Oldman. You're right.
yeah. You've got cool shades, some of them sometimes. Um, but yeah, it's the way you have the camaraderie of the three men of Mitchell, George, and oh, what's the ghost name again?
Uh, Annie Sawyer.
Like Annie, the camaraderie into those three, the look after each other.
They do.
You know,
It's cool.
all any problem they have, they try and sort it out between themselves.
Yeah.
But the fractures start to appear, halfway through the series in this season, because of the vampire. The what should we call it? The court of the vampires. Let's call it the court of the vampires. Um,
Okay.
Getting involved with Mitchell's, trying to drag him back into the fold of the old times of and lying to him, of course, about how they want to keep uh, the vampires going.
Uh-huh.
By saying offering these people on death's door in a hospital a lease of life.
Yeah.
A lease of life of being the undead.
Yeah.
Um, but it's all a lie. And I said George's struggles, coming to terms with being a werewolf and being in love. Is it Nina?
Yeah.
Um, and then I said, and Annie's struggle trying to control her when she finds out what her fiance did to her, trying to control her anger, her rage, and then a disappointment and her upset when he is not frightened of her.
Yeah.
When she tries to says, I'm going to haunt him. I want him to confess. What he's just not. He's laughing in her face.
Yeah.
Um, great storylines. Great effects. The werewolf effect. I mean, you could see that was a bit of a nod to the American Werewolf in London sort of change.
Mm-hmm. That was good.
Vampire effects.
Yeah.
There's a few. There was who else was in it? Claire Higgins was in this as well as one of Mitchell's ex girlfriends. She was dying of cancer in the hospital.
Oh,
Anything with anything what Claire Higgins appears in, I think she's a marvelous actress. Um, forever be for me the evil bitch in Hellraiser,
and Helen.
and and also the Sisterhood of Khan
The
in.
Sisterhood of Card.
But
Mm.
just for her to have a normal role in this and to
Yeah.
save Mitchell's life as well by you can have my blood because I won't be here soon.
Oh,
It was
that
one
was
of the.
so sweet. Oh my gosh.
Um,
That was just
and there was another element in this. The other
so,
ghost.
it touched you right in the feels.
Yeah. Um, what was the other element? The other element was the ghost Gilbert, who Mitchell and George tried to get Annie off to sort of take command off things and go on a date with him, to ghost
Yeah.
dating. I mean, I loved it. Gilbert was a great character.
Yeah, I thought you'd probably like Gilbert because he's very much like you. I
Well,
mean, he's a child of the
musically,
'80s, stuck in the '80s. He's
yeah,
got all the right, you know, kit. He's got the right mentality, and
yeah.
he's like very much a product of the '80s. And I just thought, yeah, he's gonna love him.
Yeah, it's a great character, but it was sad to see him go
You know,
when his time was up and the door appeared.
that was beautiful though.
Yeah, to say, last thing you said, I love you.
Uh,
That door's for me. You've made me realize things, and now it's my time to go. It was
aw,
that was a good send off for him. Um, and then
gosh,
you've also got the other character Tully,
uh-huh,
who the original, as you say, the original vampire what created George,
yeah.
who turned up and sort of started to control the household. He bit of a bad one there, but he was a desperate character as well. He just wanted friends.
No, he wasn't. He was. He was the werewolf that
Yeah,
turned George.
yeah. But he was lonely as well. He wanted friends. He wanted to
He
be friends with
was.
George, but it, but he went about it the wrong way.
Uh-huh.
Upsetting Annie and all things like that, and sort of making the three household people in the households fight against each other.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's a great story. This season.
And
Well,
and and Tully was like Tully was like the he was so surprised that Annie could feel stuff
yeah,
that all that like you know misogyny maybe that he was carrying forth from whenever he was made. I don't know how long ago he was made, but you know, he just carried that up with him, and then it just he wanted it turned him rapey, and that was just like,
yeah.
what the fuck,
That
really?
came out of nowhere, that didn't it?
It was like I was just, I couldn't believe that Tully went so dark, and it was played really really evilly. I mean, like that was the deal with it, was that you know the vampire was like the vampire story was political.
Yeah,
The werewolf story was that sort of personal power, personal gain, and then the ghost story was super romantic. But this one, he was, you could tell that he had no luck with friendships and anything, and it just brought all that up. And of course, that was why, because he was not trustworthy, and not trustworthy with people or with their things or with their inner self, even though he knew how to teach somebody about like what it was like to become a werewolf. He didn't know how to get past himself in
yeah.
relationship, and he just and it was just like all that stuff in him was gross.
And then you've got because I say so nearly every episode was a different storyline. I
Yeah.
mean, some carried over to the next episode, but most of it was a different storyline. And then we had where the locals turned against the monsters.
Hmm.
It was just like the old
Oh my
Universal
gosh, yeah.
pitchforks and you know
Yeah.
burn them, sort of thing. But this was according to accusing them of paedophilia,
Yeah.
um, and that was a strong storyline.
Yeah, it was.
Um,
It was.
and also for the young boy to die, and for that happening, for the mother to repent what she said and accused Mitchell of
Yeah.
losing a son over to you know but now she's now stuck with what was it, a 12-year-old vampire
Uh-huh.
for the rest of her life.
Uh-huh.
So that will be hard.
Uh-huh. Yeah, well,
that
yeah, no kidding.
that sort of an interview with a vampire style.
Sort of like,
Yeah.
yeah, Claudia's story again.
Yeah. So I say never make a vampire when they're young.
Yeah.
Uh,
Gosh, it's just, and then the other thing was like the transformation of you know, the vampire transformation was just all done with like black eyes.
Black eyes, and then the fangs came out
Then the fangs came out.
on the nail.
Yeah. But the werewolf transformation was incredible. And then, like they had a stunt guy who played that werewolf character.
I didn't think it'd be Russell Tovey.
No, it wasn't. It was the guy who played all the Cybermen in Doctor
No,
Who. Is that Paul Casey guy?
oh, the tall guy.
Yeah, Mr. Yeah, he's just this guy. I don't know, how tall he is, but he's so physical
Mm.
that I mean, like that's just what is he's just excellent at that. Anyway, I really like this show, and I'm really glad that BBC did this one. Um, you
Yeah,
know,
it was a big hit for
yeah,
him. I know as the seasons go along, we lose cast members. Some of them leave.
uh-huh,
Some new characters join. I think by season 3, most of the characters have gone. Then season 4 and 5 are different characters living together.
yeah.
I think Annie's the one what stays the longest. I think she's up to about season 4, and then disappears.
Oh, okay.
But if I've got my seasons right,
And
yeah,
the and the stories I think were all written by Toby Whitehouse or whatever, Whithouse. It
House, yeah,
sounds so.
he did, yeah, he did I think it was he created it, didn't he?
I don't
So
know. Did he? Is that what that was? Yeah, probably
yeah, he
producer.
created it. So I'm assuming he wrote most of the storylines.
Yeah. Okay.
Was it?
And I don't know any of the directors that I saw in the end at the end credits. But like I love the music. I loved it, especially when that other ghost was there. Cause I mean, like that was all of those beautiful 80s gothic,
Mm.
lovely tunes. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, a bit of Mark Harmond and
Wild Garment,
The
Cure.
Cure. Yeah,
Oh,
I mean that.
delicious, right? Am I right?
I mean
You
that,
would
that.
say so.
I mean that scene where Annie and Gilbert are in the living room while George and Nina are trying to have a date in the kitchen, and then
Yeah.
he turning the music up.
Uh,
But yeah, it is. It's a good series. It's a shame it came to an end.
yeah.
But everything does, I suppose.
Yeah. It was a
So
shame though. I agree. I completely agree.
great acting. I mean, so one of my favorite actors in it is Jason Watkins, who played
Yeah. Oh
Herod.
my gosh.
He's been in everything under the sun, and
Uh,
is amazing. I mean, he's even been in the Big Finish audios,
uh-huh.
playing. He's played the White Guardian and all like that, and
Uh-huh.
he's a brilliant actor. Whatever he puts himself, be it comedy, be it drama, be it supernatural stuff, or
Uh,
whatever, he's
it's
a
good.
brilliant actor. It's a shame that that character, nasty piece of work, but
Uh-huh.
it was either George or him who had to go.
Mm. Yeah.
And I like the idea of the way the vampires could smell the wolves
Yeah.
and have this warring rivalry between them,
Yeah.
which what we do in the shadows has sort of taken up the mantle of that as well.
Yeah.
The vampires against the wolves,
Yeah.
um, more comedic.
And of course Twilight was, pretty big back then. And that's
Yeah,
the Mormon version of the vampire story. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
it's like all of their there's somebody for everybody. Like everybody should be married
yeah.
and whatever. Every everybody should be married and heterosexual and and with kids and with lots of kids. Like that's the way that they feel. So anyway, that's weird. So that's why like Twilight is the way it is. But this is very, very British. I mean, like first of all, it's set in Brixton. Oops, there we go.
Bristol.
Bristol. Sorry.
Bristol. Yeah.
And it was like all the like cobblestone streets and super jammed together housing
Well,
unit
well,
flats.
the house they lived in on the corner, that
Yeah,
house
it
they
was
lived in,
huge.
it was because it was a pub. Because if you noticed on one of the windows, on the windows of the house, it said spirits.
Oh,
So
I didn't.
I'm guessing it used to be an old pub, and it's just
Uh-huh.
now it was just made into a house. So, but having spirits written on the
But
window as well.
spirits,
So yeah, because it was huge. But
and it was huge. It was like they had the biggest house in the whole neighborhood, you know?
yeah, I mean, I found it a bit. I know it's a vampire ghost werewolf thing, but I did find it a bit strange with after the paedophile episode, written
Uh-huh.
all over the house, all about next episode, the locals had forgotten all about it.
Yeah.
Well, I think, well, you made a bit of an uproar about it, then all of a sudden, yeah, it's forgotten now.
And what did they get shot with a neuralizer or something? No, I mean, the only thing that I can think of is that you know, Mitchell went to work hardcore trying to glamour everybody.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what you're gonna have to do then after a situation like that. And then, and then wouldn't it have been a good idea to maybe get that door painted over in a big hurry? Oh my God. I
but
mean,
yeah, it's
I know that is one of the quickest ways to destroy a human being
yeah,
in the UK
yeah,
is to accuse someone of going for young kids.
falsely accused as well,
Yeah, falsely accused.
because people don't listen. They make up their mind, and that's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, but a damn good series, written well, acted well.
Yeah.
Some good guest stars into it. Anything else about season one?
Um, um, yeah, like the characters were the fun part to watch because like everything was very much, just normal life sort of stuff. There
Yeah,
wasn't it wasn't like a gorgeous hospital, it was just a normal one. And it wasn't like a gorgeous neighborhood. It was just like it was actually kind of a sort of a lower middle class neighborhood and
run down.
yeah, a little rundown and everything. And so I mean the characters were the shiny part of it.
Yeah,
And it was really shiny because of the characters. Because like the music was good and the characters were good. Like that's what tells the story. The story was interesting, like the multi-level plots and the A plot, B plot, and C plot, because there's always going to be three contiguous plots because of the three different characters.
yeah.
Yeah. And the three different, whole lifestyle in there, you know. So that's fun too. And I'm really glad Annie didn't walk through the door at the end. I was really worried that she was. I was like, oh shit, we're gonna lose like my one of my favorite characters right away. And she
I know
didn't take it. I was like,
Annie is a great character, really
yeah,
is.
yeah.
Um,
And I love like Russell Tovey's just amazing. He's just a really cool guy to watch on screen. And it, I'm so glad that
And then you've got the eye candy of Aidan Turner as well.
Yeah, that's true. True.
Old Paul Dark himself.
Uh-huh. Yep. Exactly.
So, is it final same score now?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Over to you then.
All right. Well, I having not seen this yet, and having to have this be an excuse because I'm so busy with my life to an excuse to watch this. I'm really glad that they were putting forth this and energy and this lifestyle for this is a beautiful piece of somebody's great idea of a living situation, and I'm gonna give this 10 um 10 wooden stakes out of 10 in a hospital. That was quite good. Anyway, that's my bit. Back over to
Well,
you.
seeing as I've got the box set, you think I like this, wouldn't you? Of course I do. Yeah, it's going to be 10 more cups of tea out of 10 with her Annie's obsession with making cups of tea. Well, she didn't have much to do, did she, during the day? Oh, make you a cup of tea. But yeah, as I've said, well written, well acted, great storylines. What more do you need? Um, your camera's gone off there, but there you are. Yeah, so that's our little review of our first season of Being Human. I hope you guys liked it. If you've seen it, leave a message below if you have. Our video is found on all forms of social media because I share the link around. So leave a message on if you found us on X or Facebook, YouTube, whatever. Talking to YouTube, if you do subscribe to our YouTube channel, press the bell notification button and you get notified every time we put a new video up. Also, if you'd like to join us, again, leave a message on the video if you like. Contact us on Facebook or wherever. You just need to be 18. That's all. Because some things we review and talk about is 18 rated. And you need a camera and a microphone on the device you use to be involved in these casts. Because we like to see your face. You know, don't matter if you're ugly. All ugly people are welcome. All beautiful people are welcome. Because we are prejudice. We're just geeks assembled. So until next time, guys, let's be watching those movies and TVs, eh?